It ain't even gonna be close at 154.
So he'll rule at 154.
Easy.
He would have fought and made it a fight, but Jaron is too much.
Guy is talented and has the skill level that Boots has. Anything can happen, but don't get it wrong. Bud has that skill level too, so it's great.
Terence Crawford has conquered 5 divisions. He's the undisputed king. He achieved the impossible, moving up 2 weight classes to dismantle the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, and became a 3-time undisputed champion. He has silenced every critic, beaten every man put in front of him, and cemented his legacy as an all-time great.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant, masterful fight on Terence Crawford's part.
He's beaten everyone except the young monster who many call his mirror image, Jaron "Boots" Ennis. This isn't just a tough fight, it's a legacy fight. The single greatest threat to Bud's throne.
Who they are cancel out each other as far as height. You know, they both switch hitters, lift, and everything. All of that cancels out each other. So they are literally the same people, pretty much.
The man Jaron "Boots" Ennis isn't just an undefeated fighter, he is a specialist, a terrifying puzzle with a 34-0 record, and 30 of those wins have come by devastating knockout. He's not just winning, he's ending nights early with a combination of speed, power, and a switch-hitting style that looks hauntingly familiar.
They said, Shawn, what you think? I said, he's too much. He's just too much. When you got somebody who is just so intuitive in the ring, so intelligent in the ring, and then got the speed and the quickness, the agility, the power, clearly, the everything to back it up, it's like he's too much.
The only difference is Crawford done been in the big stage against big fighters so many times. And also with age, he didn't beat up his body, so his age is actually good. He got the grown man strength. He not just grown man strength, but he built on top of that. Like, look at him at 135. He was a little scrawny dude. He wasn't a big dude. Now look at him. He ripped up everything. He's strong. So sure. I feel like he got everything, all the experience, all the knowledge. So I got to go with Crawford.
This isn't just hometown hype. Philly rapper Meek Mill, who knows a thing or two about legends from his city, calls Boots the next legend in the making. After Ennis's recent sensational first-round knockout, Meek sent a direct, chilling message to Terence Crawford. "I'm with Boots, of course." He warned Crawford that he's about to see what this shot is about and find out about Philly monsters.
Crazy that my TV paused as soon as he knocked him out. That was crazy as shit. But shout out to Boots. Boots the next legend to come up in this shit.
How does Crawford and Boots play out, Meek?
Crawford and Boots play out. I'm rocking with Boots, of course. I'm from Philly. Crawford, you already know you about to meet this Philly shit. It's all love, but you about to see what this Philly shit about. We real monsters. Let's get it.
This frames Ennis as more than a mandatory challenger. He's an unavoidable storm.
What we know?
Y'all know everything.
I don't know nothing. I'm trying to find out what I know. Enlighten me.
What you mean enlighten me? You for Devin East and you for me.
You jumped up out of my sanction body to go fight in the IBF. So what I know?
What you mean?
What you mean? What I mean? Would you rank that in the WBA or not?
Yo, it don't even matter. Yo,
all right, catch up, little homie. Catch up, then. If it don't matter, catch up.
Yo, he picked Evan.
Catch up.
Evan was way under.
You just said it don't matter. Catch up. I'm talking about before that.
He not about it. We already know he's not about what he's talking about.
I'm not about what? I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
You said I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
Man, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Fight. Right, go ahead.
You dreaming, man. You talking in your dreams,
don't
man.
Want to fight. Yo, we asked for that fight plenty of times, yo.
When?
Plenty of times.
What's plenty? When?
Man,
you front.
You know
you front.
One man, who has been in the fire with Crawford, sees this as something far more dangerous. Shawn Porter's opinion arguably matters more than anyone else's because he is the only person who truly knows what both men are capable of. Porter, a former champion and an elite fighter in his own right, was the last man to share the ring with Crawford in that division, a brutal fight that ended with Porter's corner stopping it. He knows Crawford's greatness firsthand, but he's also sparred with Jaron Ennis. In a candid moment on his podcast, Porter described a moment in sparring that changed his entire perspective. He said Ennis hit him with a real right hand, a shot so impactful it made him pause and think, yo, that was real. This wasn't just a sparring tap, it was a warning shot.
You had one of them in eights and the other in sparring?
I don't know, because that dude hit me with a right hand in the sparring, and I was like, I was like, yo, that was real.
It's one of those things where...
Porter was an alpha male his entire career until, by his own admission, he got in the ring with Crawford. He says Bud is a true alpha male, a fighter who mentally and physically broke him.
I was an alpha male until I got in the ring with that dude.
It just...
that dude, like, it was like, the more he wasn't allowing me to do what he wasn't, and it was like, damn, okay. Well then shit, you know?
The terrifying implication in Porter's voice is that he sees that exact same aura in Boots Ennis. This is why Porter says he truly doesn't know who would win. He calls it an A+ versus. A fight. A modern-day classic that belongs in the same sentence as the legends Hagler, Hearns, and Leonard.
What do you think would have happened? The version of Ennis here in 25 that you sparred in Philly against the version of Crawford in 21 that you fought, what would that have looked like?
I truly don't know because Terence is just...
Somebody getting stopped.
I don't know. This fight right here, if this fight were to happen this year, it would go down in history as one of the classic fights that go with the Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns, that go with the Ray Leonard and all of those guys.
You know what fight I always thought these two would resemble their own way? Was when James Toney would fight Mike McCallum.
Oh, wow.
And they would have... Go watch those fights. You will see the highest level of exchanges in box.
Don't. Yeah.
Counter. Like just...
With speed and power.
I just think
and creativity.
You just don't see that. That's what this would have been.
Yep.
100%.
A+ versus A.
That's A+ versus A. I like that.
Terrence just a little too much and will catch him.
Yeah.
And buzz Boots. And I think that'll... I think Terrence stops him
It's
late.
such a special fight because you got two alpha males in the ring that are true alpha males. You know what I mean?
Porter's co-host offered an analogy that perfectly captures the why of this epic debate. He said Jaron Ennis is like the new school, explosive superstars, the Tracy McGrady's or Vince Carter's of the world. But Terence Crawford, he's on another level. He's the proven legend, the Michael Jordan or the Kobe Bryant. This frames the fight perfectly.
That would be like if Shawn fought Floyd Mayweather. Oh, I thought that was good.
I'd compare it to this. Jaron Ennis, Terence Crawford. Jaron Ennis is Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter. Terence Crawford's Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan.
There you go.
Perfect. A+A.
And if you just look at the highlight reels, you might actually think Vince Carter is better. You might think Vince Carter is even better.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So that
That's
just like that.
He can't explain it even better.
Is Ennis just the flashy, supremely talented new kid who can put on an amazing show? Or is Crawford the proven GOAT, the one with a next-level fight IQ who has already solved every puzzle put in front of him?
What is Boots versus Terence Crawford? What does that look like?
I don't know yet, because we haven't seen Boots in against a guy that has touched him good enough to really test his chin. So that's the only thing we don't know about him yet. We don't know if he can take the real punch yet because we haven't seen it. But as far as the skill goes, he got everything. And that fight could be a very difficult fight because he has everything.
Rapper Mino, who was ringside for Crawford's historic win over Canelo, leans toward the proven king. He was stunned by that performance, noting that Crawford wasn't overpowered by the much bigger man as everyone had predicted. Mano picks Crawford to win precisely because of his proven capacity to be able to adapt to any fighter. He believes Crawford has a strategic mastery that Ennis simply hasn't faced yet.
Listen.
Talk to me about them.
Boots is the guy.
How does that fight play out, the super fight, Crawford versus Boots?
I went to the Crawford fight
I was there
in Vegas. I'm not going to hold you. He really, really surprised me. I'm talking about in a good way, like it was next level, you know, because everybody was talking about how how homie was gonna be too big for him, too powerful, Canelo, how he was gonna be too overpower him. And it was none of that. Actually, he wasn't even that, he ain't even really that bigger than him.
He didn't break a sweat, right?
That was lightweight. He took him all the way out of his fight. Very impressive.
Crawford is a master strategist, a general in the ring. Promoter Eddie Hearn has flat out called it the best fight in boxing, framing Ennis as the new Crawford ready to take the throne.
I feel that Jaron Ennis against Terence Crawford is the fight. And that can be at 54, it can be at 60. You know, obviously we've got Lima to take care of first, but that for me is one of the great, you know, crossover fights, because Boots is the changing of the guard guy. And Crawford's the guy that's been there and done it all and just proved, you know, that he's still very much in his...
The consensus among experts is clear. Crawford has cleaned out divisions and beaten legends, but Boots is the one man who might have all the tools, the speed, the power, and the ring IQ to be his successor. For many, this is the ultimate test. The undisputed king versus the one young killer he has to face to truly prove he's the greatest of this era. This is the great contradiction, the moment that has ignited a firestorm of controversy.
Right now in my career, a lot of people like boost this, boost that, boost this. You know, fighting Boots is a lose-lose situation. You know, I win, they're gonna say, oh, well, he was young, he wasn't ready. You know, he was talented, he was skillful, but you got the experience over him. You got, you know, so much more than this kid that never been tested before. Me fighting Boots will be like, okay, well, you beat Boots. It's not a mega fight.
In the immediate aftermath of his career-defining victory over Canelo Alvarez, with the world at his feet, Crawford was asked directly about the fight everyone wants, a showdown with Jaron "Boots" Ennis. His response was immediate and dismissive.
Would you consider going back down to 154 and face Jaron Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight?
No. I ain't going down 154.
This single sentence sent shockwaves through the sport.
What about the Terence Bud Crawford fight? I'm tired of answering questions about it. He already said millions of times that he not fighting me or looking my way, so I'm just tired of answering them questions, you know. And if a fight happened, it happened. You know, I want it to happen, but if not, yeah.
Because according to reports, Terence Crawford already holds a WBA title at 154 pounds. He is a champion in the very division he claims he ain't going down to. This isn't a question of him cutting weight to go back down. This is about him defending his own throne against the consensus #1 contender, the man who was his mandatory challenger. This public refusal has split the boxing world.
And it's first Lima. Who is this Lima guy though, bro?
This is what Boots does though. Boots fights this level of opposition. He hasn't fought anyone that's like an A-tier fighter. But what he does is amazing. Like when Lima's southpaw, he come out and normally comes out, he's like a bit of a switch hitter. Normally starts in southpaw, Ennis, but he come out orthodox.
Yeah.
And that I think that threw Lima off. But once he lays hands on you, it's mad.
No, it was impressive still. It was impressive to get him out of there. What? 2 knockdowns and then the ref jumped in.
You call me crazy, yeah? I sat there thinking, Bud?
I feel like they should fight.
They were supposed to fight.
I know.
They were supposed to fight.
I feel like they should fight.
I don't. It's like, what's Bud? Why though? Why is Bud fighting that fight? Like, it's a generational fight that he doesn't need to fuck, bro.
There is another equally compelling theory, one that comes from another Philly specialist, Gilly Daw Kid. Gilly, like Meek, is rolling with his hometown guy, but his analysis paints a chilling picture of the 154-pound division. He respects Crawford, placing him on his Mount Rushmore of boxing, but
Crawford did his thing, man. Mount Rushmore.
He's on Mount Rushmore. He's on there, right?
Yes.
This win, everybody's saying Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion, son.
What's yours?
My opinion is I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker. I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard. Dave Tony. So they my top guys that I've been watching.
He has an almost frightening level of confidence in Boots. When asked about other top contenders, like the undefeated power puncher Virgil Ortiz, Gilly just laughed it off, calling it easy money for Ennis. Gilly's prophecy is that Boots will easy dominate the entire 154-pound division. He believes Ennis won't face a truly competitive fight until he moves up to 168.
I mean, I'm always going to root for Boots. Boots is from Philly. Terence Crawford is a specialist. Boots is a specialist. It'll be a great fight.
So
Terence is my guy, man. I love
you see it as a 50-50 fight?
I mean, I see it as a great fight.
It's a great fight.
I don't know if it'll be 50-50, 60-40, what it would be. But I see it as a great fight.
And what about Boots and Virgil Ortiz? That's what they're talking about in next up.
That's easy money.
That's easy money. He gets the knockout?
Easy money.
This reframes Crawford's refusal in a new light. Maybe it isn't fear. Maybe Crawford, the master strategist, sees the same thing Gilly does. Maybe he knows the 154-pound division is a foregone conclusion, that it's Ennis's new territory to conquer, and he's moving on to bigger challenges and historic paydays at 160 or 168.
Now you got Boots Ennis in your weight class.
Definitely.
What do you think about him?
Oh, he's very, very talented. He's unproven, but he's very talented.
Yeah.
The eye test tells it all. You know, he's got the it, but we haven't seen him against any elite fighter. We've never seen him tested. So until then, we just going to keep saying, oh, Boots, 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 until he meet that fighter that's going to test him.
Is that a fight that you would be interested in?
Nah, it just don't make sense right now in my career. Like I said, especially money-wise, don't nobody really know Boots, but
right.
I'm looking for bigger and better challenges like Canelo.
You're just looking for the big ones.
Yeah.
The big fish.
Yeah.
Fish fry.
That definitely. Definitely. Them the guys I'm looking for,
But then, there is the simplest and perhaps most cynical reason for all of this. It's the one that has nothing to do with fear and everything to do with finance. Mino laid it out perfectly. When asked what Crawford should do next, he was blunt. Get that bag. He said if he were Crawford, he would take the rematch with Canelo Alvarez first.
I would like to see that, but I ain't gonna hold you. If I was Crawford, I would probably do Canelo again. Get rematch. That bag, get that rematch bag.
Okay. And then after that, where would he go after that?
Then we could do whatever. Because at that point, really, Crawford ain't really got nothing else to prove to nobody,
This highlights the brutal central conflict of professional boxing, legacy versus currency. The Canelo rematch is a guaranteed 9-figure payday, the biggest check in the sport. The Jaron Ennis fight, by comparison, is a high-risk, low-reward nightmare.
He's not close to getting Crawford. I don't think Crawford takes the fight. Everybody's, relying on Turki Al-Sheikh, Prince Turki Al-Sheikh to get that fight done. I don't think it gets done. I think Terence is looking out. The reason for him going to 54 is because he wants to conquer 154. I don't think, outside of getting belts at 154 and a fight with Canelo Alvarez, I don't think there's anything else that Terence even wants to do. And getting in the ring with a Boots is not something that he's interested in.
It's a fight against a young, hungry monster who hits like a ton of bricks, possesses a style that mirrors Crawford's own, and doesn't yet have the global pay-per-view selling name that Canelo does.
He said he wants 2 or 3 more fights. What fights do you think he should take?
Okay, one is the rematch. Okay. Then, I would like to see Boots get a real shot, so yeah, why not? Crawford never fought Teofimo, right?
No, Teofimo's too light.
Too light, right?
Yeah, he's at 140 pounds. Crawford's at 168. He'll move down to 154, 160 to fight Boots.
Up there?
At 168?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of competition. The guy that just knocked out Berlanga, Hazma, nobody really probably wants to see that. Everybody's calling for Boots. So, the two skilled fighters, they both switch hitters.
And they counter punches.
Yeah, definitely, man. You have any, you lean towards anybody? Or you like
Crawford,
50-50?
Man. Crawford? Though, right? Because, he's showing the propensity to be able to adapt to any fighter. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This is precisely why the pros are explaining that this is a must fight, because it's the only one left. It's the master versus the monster. It's the Jordan of this era versus the McGrady, who might be even better. It's the only man Shawn Porter says shares that true alpha male aura that can break other elite fighters.
I myself in shooting it straight. So you do the same thing. And shooting it straight to the people, that's our job. That's our responsibility. I don't care who I'm friends with, not friends with, like, don't like. It doesn't matter. It's not going to sway how I'm going to say something. So I'll start right there and say it. Boots Ennis he's the real package. He's the full package. I've been saying this for a long time. It's no secret, and a lot of people see it, and they had their ups and downs about how they feel about him. But he's the full package. He can fight inside, outside. He can punch. He's got good hand speed. He's technically solid. His father does a good job. He's mentally right. He's got the amateur pedigree. He's the full package. But yeah, he had the right guy in front of him.
Terence Crawford now stands at the final crossroads of his perfect career. He can follow the money, as Mano suggested, and get the bag. He can take the Canelo rematch, cash another $100 million check, and perhaps retire, leaving the burning question of Jaron Ennis to haunt his legacy forever. The one great what if. Or he can do what the legends before him have done. He can turn around, face the Philly monster that everyone is telling him to avoid, and slam the door on the single biggest threat to his reign.
But I want Virgil Ortiz next. And if we can't get Virgil Ortiz next, I heard that Baby Cub was calling me out too. Charlo, he can get it next. Fundora, what's his name? Bartram.
Terence Crawford has built a perfect career by beating every man he was supposed to beat. But the question is, will he be remembered as the undisputed king who faced every challenger? Or will he be remembered as the brilliant strategist who knew exactly which one monster to walk away from? So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.